I don't know if this was intentional, but Todd Monken pulled a fast one on us because before practice, he told us Shedeur Sanders it was his day to get the first team reps. Lo and behold, practice comes, the 7-on-7, the 11-on-11s, Deshaun Watson all day. It was Deshaun, and then what was interesting about the development was that Shedeur seemed to take the fewest snaps with the twos that we have seen in camp. He shared those with Dylan Gabriel up until probably the last two 11-on-11 series and 7-on-7 series of the afternoon when it was Shedeur Sanders getting those number 2 reps, but that was hard to miss today after what Coach had told us before practice.
Well, and they've stayed with that rotation. Whoever's getting the first reps, they've stayed with it up to this point. Today, we thought Shedeur was going to go first. Deshaun not only went first, but he got the majority of the reps. It was the two reps that are usually pretty even as well. Those were minimized, and they were split up. So Deshaun was the starter today, and it looked like he was the starter. He played well. I thought the quarterbacks as a whole were pretty solid. All of them made some good plays. Shedeur only had 5 or 6 reps going about an hour in, and that's pretty unusual for Todd Monken's practice. Those quarterbacks all get reps throughout the day. Today focused on Deshaun Watson, and I thought he performed pretty well. But again, all the quarterbacks when Shedeur got in, he went 3 for 3, did a nice job. Didn't seem to be hanging his head.
Because what Shannon Sharpe said next wasn't just an opinion; it was a warning shot at Todd Monken himself.
All right, man, it's kind of clear to all of us that Shedeur Sanders is about to get the short end of the stick. And I don't think it has anything to do with on the play field, as he's outplayed Deshaun Watson for the majority of training camp. But Deshaun Watson got a fat ass paycheck coming. At the end of the day, he about to get paid. So maybe they just like, look, we gonna throw him out there. But we got Shannon Sharpe and Nightcap calling out head coach Todd Monken for doing Shedeur Sanders dirty, man. It's kind of foul how it's going down. But let's get into what Shannon had to say. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit the bell notification, hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated.
Nobody saw this coming. Not the Cleveland media, not the fans who filled the stands at training camp expecting a fair fight, and definitely not Shedeur Sanders. Because right now, on the practice fields in Berea, Ohio, something doesn't add up. Shedeur Sanders has outplayed Deshaun Watson for most of training camp. Not close, not debatable, outplayed him. So why is Todd Monken suddenly handing the keys to Deshaun Watson? That's the question Shannon Sharpe just asked out loud, and the answer might expose the ugliest secret in Cleveland.
And I'm just trying to figure out why you want to see him on personnel groupings when it's my day. When it's come to his day, okay, now you can see it. So what about tomorrow? Why? So we can't do these groupings tomorrow?
Yeah.
So what was so special about my day that I'm supposed to get the reps? We supposed to alternate. So you didn't want to see him with the group tomorrow, huh?
I'm with you on this one, Ocho. I think you give Deshaun Watson a fair shake. You give him an opportunity to really come out and show and prove if he can get back to that elite quarterback play that he once was.
Here's the situation in Cleveland right now. 2 quarterbacks, 1 job, and a whole lot of money on the line. Deshaun Watson is still owed one of the biggest contracts in NFL history. Shedeur Sanders is a rookie playing for a fraction of that price tag, and on paper, that shouldn't matter. Performance is supposed to decide who starts. But here's where things get crazy. According to insiders close to the situation, it's Sanders, not Watson, who has been getting the short end of the stick at camp. Not because of anything he's done wrong, because of something a lot uglier. Picture this. It's Shedeur Sanders' scheduled day to run with the first-team offense. The plan was simple. The quarterbacks were supposed to alternate reps, fair and square, day by day. But when Sanders showed up ready to lead the ones, the personnel groupings had already shifted. Deshaun Watson was suddenly getting first-team run on Sanders' day. And that's when Shannon Sharpe stopped holding back. On Nightcap, Sharpe pressed the issue directly, asking why Watson was getting first-team personnel groupings on the exact day that belonged to Sanders. He wanted to know what made that particular day so special that the rotation just happened to change. Now, pay attention to this. That's not a small scheduling mix-up. That's the kind of quiet decision that can decide a starting job before a single preseason snap is even played. Here's where the media's argument completely falls apart. For months, the story around Deshaun Watson has been about redemption, a second chance, a former elite quarterback getting the opportunity to prove he can return to form. Nobody's against a fair shot. Sharpe himself said he wants Watson to succeed. He said he won't root against him. But here's the problem. You can't call something a fair competition and then quietly stack the reps in one guy's favor. That's not competition. That's a decision dressed up to look like one. And that's exactly the contradiction Shannon Sharpe called out. A coach talking fairness in front of the cameras, while the practice reps told a completely different story.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, Joe, you say maybe he can get back. If he get back to that elite status, it'll be the greatest turnaround in NFL history.
Hello.
No player has ever have such a precipitous drop and recapture it. It's hard. Now, we've seen players drop off a year and come back, you know what I'm saying? Okay, in 2019, played bad, came back in 2020, hit it up, and went back like he was. But to have this many years off and to pick back up where he once, we've never seen that in the history of the game. Never.
It's going to be tough to do that, man.
Yes, especially there.
You think, but my thing is, the only reason why I say it's going to be tough, Uncle Ocho.
Let's compare the way these two quarterbacks have actually been talked about all camp. Shedeur Sanders comes in as a rookie, 5th-round pick, constantly under a microscope. Every mistake magnified, every interview picked apart. Deshaun Watson comes in with a guaranteed contract, a rocky recent history, and now apparently a green light to eat into reps that weren't supposed to be his. That's not the same standard. It's not even close. And what happened next left Browns fans stunned, because even Sharpe's own co-hosts on Nightcap admitted Watson deserves a real opportunity to prove himself. The difference is, an opportunity is one thing, quietly rigging the rotation is another. So why would Todd Monken do this? Here's the theory nobody wants to say out loud, but everybody's thinking. Deshaun Watson is set to collect a massive paycheck no matter what happens this season. And when a front office has that much money tied up in one player, there's pressure, real pressure, to make that investment look justified. Whether that pressure is coming from ownership, from the front office, or from Monken himself, one thing is becoming impossible to ignore. This competition might not be as open as the Browns want everyone to believe. That's not even the most shocking part, because the numbers tell a completely different story. Let's talk performance, because that's supposed to be the only thing that matters. Sanders has been efficient, sharp decision-making, limited turnovers, building real chemistry with his receivers throughout camp. Watson, meanwhile, is being asked to do something that's almost never happened in NFL history: climb back to elite form after years of decline. Sharpe made that point himself on Nightcap. He said no player has ever fallen off this severely and fully recaptured that elite level of play. Some quarterbacks bounce back after one bad season. This is different. This is years removed from Watson's best football. And it's not just about Watson individually. Sharpe and his co-host spent real time breaking down just how loaded or not loaded Cleveland's roster actually is compared to the rest of the AFC. Teams like Cincinnati, the Chargers, Kansas City, and Houston were brought up again and again as examples of offenses with more firepower. The conclusion: whoever starts at quarterback in Cleveland is going to need every possible advantage, including a coaching staff that's actually being straight with them.
Not only knowing your personnel, but knowing your player strengths, playing to their strengths, putting them in positions to make the plays, understanding your quarterback strength and weaknesses. That's all. I mean, listen, I make it sound easy, but it's not easy. But putting them in positions to make plays, knowing their strengths and their weaknesses, is going to be extremely important. I know you got an offense to run. I know you have a scheme. I know you have a way of that you like to do things. But if you don't have the personnel to do what you like to do, you got to finagle a little bit.
You can't finesse that much. Ocho, you 30 cents away from a dime.
Now here's where things get crazy. Fans didn't wait long to react once clips of this exchange started spreading. Social media lit up with accusations that the Browns' quarterback competition isn't being run in good faith. Some fans are calling it exactly what Sharpe seemed to be hinting at, a business decision disguised as a football decision. Others are defending Monken, pointing out that Watson has faced real criticism and boos from his own fan base, and maybe just needed reps to rebuild rhythm and confidence. But even those defending Monken can't deny the optics here are bad, because when a coach says one thing before practice and something completely different happens on the field, that's not a mistake, that's a message. So where does this leave Cleveland heading into the preseason? Monken hasn't named a starter yet. He says he won't rush that decision, but every practice from here on out is going to be watched under a microscope. Every rep, every personnel grouping, every quote from the podium. Because if Shedeur Sanders keeps outplaying Deshaun Watson on the field and still doesn't get the job, Cleveland is going to have a much bigger problem than a quarterback controversy. They're going to have a credibility problem. Whether you love Shedeur Sanders or you're still waiting for him to prove himself, one thing is becoming impossible to deny. Every single time somebody tries to hand this job to someone else, Shedeur Sanders keeps giving people a reason to believe he already earned it. And if Todd Monken really is stacking the deck against him, that's not just doing a rookie dirty, that's ignoring what's happening right in front of everybody's eyes. The tape doesn't lie, the reps don't lie, and Shannon Sharpe just made sure everybody's watching. So here's the real question heading into preseason. Is Cleveland about to bench the guy who actually earned the job? Drop your take in the comments. Shedeur or Deshaun, who should be QB1? And if you want more no-filter breakdowns like this one, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss a video, and I'll see you in the next one.